Good morning and a very warm welcome to a slightly wet morning here at Heathrow's Terminal 3. Guys, today we'll be flying with American Airlines through to Las Vegas. We're going to be doing so via Los Angeles. So in this video, we're going to check out both their long haul offering and short haul offering back in economy. So come along, it's going to be a long trip. Let's get it started. American Airlines utilised check-in zones D&E at Heathrow's Terminal 3. On that particular morning, I was able to use the priority areas. If you do fancy an upgrade, maybe to premium economy or even the business class, this is where you'll check in. Just over on the other side was the general economy check-in. I have to say, it looked incredibly quiet, so either would have worked just perfect on that morning. With us flying back in economy today, of course, no lounge access is included. I was, however, able to check out one of T3's newer restaurants and must say the breakfast went down very well indeed. Okay, just arrived at the gate and it's already time to jump on board. I do like these gates where you can just jump straight on when you get to the boarding gate. Say it's for the usual scrum. I think I'm running a little bit late at the moment, but let's jump on board and see what economy's like with American Airlines. Let's take a minute just to familiarise ourselves with the seat map before we jump on board. The main cabin extra area is just behind premium economy. This is spread over 3 to 4 rows of economy. I was in seat 19A on that particular morning and it worked really very nicely. I would say if you are a little bit taller, these seats would work particularly well. Anyway, let's get on and see what the seats look like. We onboarded through a really smart looking business class cabin. I'll have to bring that to you one day, no doubt that'll be a very pleasurable flight. For now, let's take a quick look at this main cabin extra seat. I would say an extra 3 to 4 inches or so of legroom on the standard seats. We'll check out one of the normal ones a little bit later into the review when we get in the air and you'll see the difference just there between them. Otherwise, fairly standard fare on the 777 seats, 343 across. The look and the feel of the cabin was really very smart. On the rear of the seats, you'll find ample charging options, courtesy of that international plug socket adapter just there, and also a USB. There was overhead lights and also air vents, a pillow and a blanket waiting for us at the seat, and also a headset for the entertainment system, which we'll check out a little bit later. For now, let's get out of this incredibly wet London morning and get on our way to first stop, Los Angeles. It's days like that that make it even better leaving London's Heathrow. It was, I have to say, incredibly grey. As we take to the skies, let's kick off the review by taking a quick look at the entertainment. American Airlines have a pretty decent system. I have to say I wasn't blown away with the screen. It reflected pretty poorly and could have done with being that little bit bigger and certainly a little bit brighter. But in terms of selections, they had all of the latest movies you'd expect, so pretty good on that particular front. Beyond the seatback entertainment screens was then the onboard Wi-Fi. This was quickly available as soon as we took to the skies and all available as part of American Airlines' central portal, which I have to say looks very smart and has aspects such as live news, time to destination, and lots of other bits and pieces. In terms of the pricing of the Wi-Fi, this was incredibly high, and unfortunately on this occasion I can't really bring a review of the Wi-Fi for you because at $35 for the entire flight it was incredibly expensive, so I didn't use it on that particular occasion. Before the meal service, I got the chance to head back and take a look at the standard economy seats. Thankfully, this was an incredibly quiet flight, so I could jump in and have a quick look. I must say, the standard legroom did look pretty tight. I'm 180 centimeters, and it was pretty tight. So if you are that bit taller, again, I would recommend one of the main cabin extra seats. In terms of the bathrooms, these were nice and clean throughout the flight. When I got back to the seats, the meal service was just getting started. After my pretty dreadful food experience with them at the back end of last year, I was keen to see whether things had improved. From a starter point of view, unfortunately that cucumber and salad was just as dry as it looked, so not a good start. However, the main meal was actually decent. I had the 4-cheese pasta, the bread roll was also really nice, so despite appearances, it was actually a pretty good economy meal service. Following the food being brought around, there was then a second trolley which followed down the cabin. I opted for a glass of the red wine. It really wasn't too bad at all. By the time I started combining this with the bread, the extra virgin olive oil, I was having a right old time enjoying my lunch on board. Pretty decent on the food front just here from American Airlines. Following the lunch service, most of the windows were then closed in the cabin, so you'll have to excuse the lighting conditions just here. I was able to have a couple of cocktails. These were actually free of charge on board. You could select from the spirits. There was then also an ice cream service that was brought around. With all of that food and a few cocktails inside me, it was high time to make full use of the really empty conditions on board. I lay down across the 4 seats in the middle and got a couple of hours rest. High luxury, I know, for economy. As I woke, there was then a second food service. This was to be a barbecue chicken wrap. Fortunately, American Airlines were back to their old tricks just here. This was pretty disgusting. They were hoping to heat them through very slightly on board in its colder state. It was a little bit soggy, but overall the food was pretty decent. Now, at this moment in time during a review, I'd of course be starting to do the wrap-up, but by no means are we done just yet. We're landing just here into Los Angeles International Airport. In a moment, we're going to be connecting on to one of their short-haul jets, so I can bring some of that footage to you as to what the short-haul experience is like with American Airlines. For all the bad rep that LAX receives, I actually found the connecting experience to be really very good indeed. It wasn't long at all before we were heading down that air bridge and jumping on board that next flight. With this particular flight, I again went for the main cabin extra seats. It was to be seat 11A, just marked with a little cross on that particular occasion. I would highly recommend against rows 10 on the right-hand side of the aircraft, and you'll see why in just a moment. Just like conditions on board the long-haul jet, the legroom in main cabin extra, even on short-haul, was absolutely fantastic. It was, however, even better, of course, in those emergency exit rows. Here's that row 10 on the right-hand side. You can see here, you have that rather awkward seat kind of in the middle of the aircraft without a proper view out. As for the seats themselves, nice overhead air vents and also personalised lighting just there as well. With it being such a short hop over to Las Vegas, there was no food or drinks brought around, but given the length of the flight, this was really no issue at all. So that's it. You've seen everything. The long haul, the short haul, the seats, the food, the entertainment. I'd be really keen to know what you all think. I'd love to hear from you just down in the comments below. I do respond to pretty much every comment I get through, so I'd love very much to hear from you. Guys, if you're looking to travel in or out of the States, I would check out my recent review of Virgin Atlantic. I recently flew their brand new premium economy, that one in the bottom left just now. Otherwise, very much looking forward to seeing you in another review real soon.